Hello everyone, and welcome to this audio podcast. In this series, aligned to the LabZtorm Impact v.3. This is an audio podcast in around works that's linked to sort of nephrology, looking at what, if any, are the health, educational needs for patients with CKD or chronic kidney disease. This is an audio podcast aligned to establish Bostic's blockade, and an audio podcast aligned to another Storm Robotics production. This audio podcast will look at will delve into sort of the aims and objectives, and some aspects in around the research question, in around this particular works, surrounding educational support um, in around CKD, and looking at this works once again, from a qualitative inquiry. So, in around the aims and objectives, then, the aims and objectives of this research, of this works, was to include the was to understand how healthcare and education for CKD recipients or patients can help patients or recipients take ownership of aspects aligned to healthcare, and more specifically the objectives of the research, of the research, had sort of linked and included, sort of, number one, to describe how CKD patients or recipients are managed in between healthcare sectors, and a view to capture and analyze qualitative data from the perspectives of patients and healthcare professionals. And number two, understand the sort of options for obtaining advice or guidance and educational support, through an online or social media platform, uh, uh, through an online platform or social media platform. Um, and More specifically, then, this then leads into sort of the research question. Sort of the research question in and around this works, that had taken place. That had taken place. In the UK, in the United Kingdom, the study seeks to understand educational support surrounding CKD or chronic kidney disease, um, and um, and explore sort of a patient or a recipient, and allied health professional or AHP perspectives. So, is the basis of this, is sort of the sort of basis in around the aims and objectives, and sort of the research question, or the sort of the sort of main the specific aspects of what this research and what this works had looked to sort of delve into. And So the next audio podcast will look into or delve into CKD, chronic kidney disease, and specifically sort of the role of education in context of chronic kidney disease, sort of specifically. So this ends this audio podcast, aligned to the LabZtorm Impact v.3. This has been an audio podcast aligned to what, if any, are the health educational needs for patients with chronic kidney disease, CKD. This has been an audio podcast aligned to a Storm Robotics blockade, and this is another audio podcast aligned to a Storm Robotics production. Thank you for tuning in.